down with your wife and buy a baby grow and believe God to give it to you. That's faith, people. That's moving in faith. That's moving in the promises of God that God will fulfill. Listen, He will fulfill His promises in your life when you walk in them. Amen. Well, how do I walk in them? Everyone always asks me this question. There's two ways. Well, probably many more than two. One is go out and buy the baby grow. The other is go and buy the magazine. The other is go and book your wedding reception hall. We're laughing, huh? That's a bit wild, Pastor. I'm going to book a wedding hall. What date? Ask God to give you a date. Listen, I know I'm going on, man. Listen. I couldn't do that. But yet you'll pick up the even heard, you'll believe every word in that stupid paper. Did you hear about the woman, the pop star? She married the Harry now or something. You'll believe that quicker than you believe the word of the Lord. You put your head in that even heard all day long and you believe every stupid word from those liars. They are liars. You listen to the news quicker than you listen to the word. The news, the Lord, don't ever listen to the news. It's all death. All negative. That's all it is. It fills your head with negativity. You begin to start thinking of Britney Spears and all these nutters. Who wants to know about them? I'm not interested in them. Who cares whether they jump off a platform or not? I don't give a monkeys. But yet we as Christians will listen to all of that, and yet we won't go out and book. We won't hear a woman, the Lord say, I'm going to get married in October 2010, the 21st. Oh, God could never speak to me that way. Now listen. Watch the activation of a promise. When God says to you to book that reception hall, you go book it. It's not your responsibility, it's God's. You listen to me. It ain't your responsibility. If you don't get married on the 21st of October 2010, that's not your business, it's God's business. You're not the fool. You are leaving the responsibility with God. You are saying, Lord, you told me to do it. I look like a nutcase doing it, but I'm going to believe you. See, people that move in faith look strange. I knew a man of God in Belgium. He booked a massive hall for an evangelism. 3 people turned up. Him, his wife, and his son. He said, Lord, you told me to fill it. 4 days later, the place was full. He moved in faith. I'd rather be a fool for Jesus than anybody else. If it fails, it ain't my responsibility. It's God's. It lays with Him. If you look like a head case doing it, who cares? You're going to do it anyway. God will take care of it. Remember, it's God's responsibility. That's the activation of faith. That's really believing God. And listen to me, I'm going to tell you something, right? Everyone around you will say, don't read the magazines. Don't book the hall. Don't buy that car. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Everyone will tell you not to do it. Someone said to me, when you hear this, when you hear this, right? What are you going to India for? I said, to help the poor. What is he doing that for? This is a Christian. What would you be doing that for? That's a bit of I said, the Bible says those who give to the poor lend to God, my brother. Oh. I said, much are you going to give me? Haven't seen him since. He's a waffler. He'll be still sitting in the same place he has been for 20 years. Because he ain't moving in faith. he's walking in unbelief. The whole enemy of faith started in the garden. When the devil said to Eve, did God say? If she just turned around and said, yes, God did say, we'd have a whole different world. The enemy always calls into question the word of faith. Always, always, always. Calls it into question. Always does it and always will call it into question. But the moment you step out and activate it, he can't touch it. It's over for him. I've seen God provide miraculously. Do you know that mission fund, that money just grows? I don't know how it grows. Let me just tell you something. I have a mate of mine who has a charity called Zest for Kids, rang me the other day. He said to me, my money ain't coming in. He's always advertising, every day he's advertising. He said, how's your fund? I said, it just grows. And we never advertise it. We never ask, but it just grows. To help the poor. Why? Because we believe that when we give, God gives more. When we bless, God blesses us. I still see our new building. Everyone's telling me it cannot happen. I believe it can happen. It will happen. Because I'm activating faith every day. I'm believing. Every day I'm believing. Every day I'm believing for every chair. Every day I'm believing for a violin and a flute player to come in. I'm believing, I'm believing, I'm believing. I choose to believe against unbelief. I choose to get up and believe God rather than the world. I choose to believe the report of the Lord rather than the news and rather than the herald. You've got to understand something with this story. It was 10 believers that wrecked a whole generation. It wasn't 10 unbelievers. Moses sent in his 12 best men, 12 leaders. He sent them in. And they came back. D.L. Moody says, faith and courage are like a hand and a glove together. It not only takes faith, it takes courage. Courage and faith go hand together. You've got to be willing to go where you've never gone before. You've got to be willing to get to church when everyone else won't go. You watch 2010. You go to every prayer meeting, go to every Bible study, every cell, every worship group. You watch at the end of 2010 how much you've grown and how Johnny and Mary haven't grown. And how God will show you great and awesome miracles in your life. When everyone else will just live a mediocre Christian life. But you will not only see the promise, but you will walk in them. And you will see them as a reality. I'll tell you one more story. A friend of mine, Frank Malera, taught me a lot about faith in Belgium. He was going into China. He had 1 kilo of Bibles, 1 kilo of Bibles. Someone went up to him with a bag in front of him and got refused. She only had £5. This man's a real man of faith in them guys. He walked up and he placed the 1 kilo, 0 kilograms on the bag. Put on the other bag, 0 kilograms. The woman behind us was even looking at him. He said, well, it's 0 kilograms, it's 0 kilograms, you've got to put them in. He went into China and gave out 10 kilos of Bibles to those who needed a word. He said to me one day, he said, Pat, do you really believe God? I said, I do, Frank, I always believe. He said, you don't, you're a waffle. He said, book a plane and go back to Dublin and see Shan. I said, I have no money. He said, I thought you're a man of faith. I said, I've got €20, Frank. He says, you ain't a man of faith, man, you're a man of waffle. He said, get on the phone and ring. And he's a real, you think I'm persistent, this fellow's worse than me. So I'm standing ringing, and I can say, doing that to him, right? Hello, hello. Yeah, that'd be 12,000 francs. It says, Frank.